The survey grid was clear. Section Gamma 7 was designated as geologically unremarkable. Bedrock, clay, nothing more. Our mandate was to stay within the established perimeter, a routine environmental survey before a new infrastructure project was greenlit. But a storm had shifted our markers overnight. Just a few meters, but enough. The ground here was softer than the projections suggested. That should have been the first clue. The shovel went in easy, too easy. Then, the sound. Not the dull thud of rock, but a sharp, resonant clang. A sound that didn't belong. We weren't supposed to dig here. Protocol dictates we stop, report, and wait. But curiosity is a powerful and sometimes reckless motivator in our line of work. A quick brush, just to see what we'd hit. A pipeline? An old foundation? That's what we thought. That's what we hoped. It was supposed to be a simple error, a footnote in a daily report. This was an accident. A mistake of a few feet that would unravel centuries of carefully constructed silence. The edge was perfect. Too perfect. We laid a level against it. Dead flat. We measured the angle, a precise 90 degrees. Nature can create approximations, illusions of geometry through fracture and cleavage. But this was not an approximation. This was intention. This was design. But what we hit wasn't natural. Stone doesn't form like this. It doesn't create stairways into the deep earth. Each riser and tread cut with a uniformity that defies erosion and time. Every surface was smooth, yet bore the faint, almost invisible marks of tools we couldn't recognize. This wasn't a geological feature. It was an artifact. A massive, buried architectural artifact. So we checked the maps. The first step in any anomalous discovery, cross-reference the data. We pulled up the latest ordnance surveys, the geological charts, the municipal records. Our location was plotted with satellite precision, and there was nothing there. Not a ruin, not a historical marker, not even a footnote of a forgotten homestead. The area was designated as undeveloped, untouched land. According to every official modern record, the structure we were standing on did not exist. Nothing. Then we checked older records. We went deeper. County archives, historical society logs, hand-drawn maps from the first surveyors to cross this territory. We were looking for a ghost. A whisper of something that could explain the impossible stonework beneath our feet. We cross-referenced every deed, every claim, every story. The search became an obsession, a quiet, frantic hunt through the paper tombs of history. And the site was gone. We found it, a single map from 1872, a brief, tantalizing flicker of data. A surveyor's private log noted an anomalous stone structure with a hand-drawn sketch. But in the official public version of the same map, from the same year, there was nothing. The sketch was gone. The note was gone. It hadn't just been omitted. It had been actively removed, erased. This changed everything. This wasn't a forgotten ruin, slowly surrendering to the earth. Abandoned places decay. They leave traces, stories, scars on the landscape. They are remembered, even as ruins. This was different. This felt deliberate, not abandoned, hidden. The air that flowed out was cold, ancient, and devoid of life. It didn't smell of damp or decay, but of nothing. A sterile, profound emptiness. We had found more than a structure. We had found a seal. We stopped treating it like a dig. The archaeological tools were put away. The brushes, the trowels, the context sheets, they were all inadequate. This was now a containment site. Our protocols shifted from discovery to security. The objective was no longer to understand what was inside, but to ensure it remained there. Because it looked sealed on purpose. The stratigraphy told the story. The layers of earth weren't laid down by millennia of wind and rain. They were packed, compressed, and deliberate. This place had been buried. Someone, long ago, had gone to an immense effort not just to build this structure, but to hide it from the world, to bury it so completely that only a profound accident could bring it to light. No record, no marker, no reason. The absence of information was now the most significant piece of data we had, a void in history, a deliberate surgical excision from our collective memory. You don't expend that kind of effort to hide something worthless. You do it to hide something you fear. Then we found a mark. A single, small symbol carved into the stone of the threshold. It was not a letter, not a pictograph, not part of any lexicon we could identify. It was clean, sharp, and utterly alien. It felt less like a signature and more like a warning. A key to a lock we had no business trying to open. And the deeper it went, the more it felt like it didn't want to be seen. The structure wasn't just buried. It felt resistant. The air grew colder. Our equipment began to malfunction, batteries draining at an impossible rate, compasses spinning uselessly. It was as if the place itself was actively hostile to our presence, to our light, to our very observation. So we didn't go in. That's when we realized this wasn't an invitation. It was a tomb, but not for a person. It was a prison. The decision was made to halt all further intrusion. The risk was unquantifiable. Because this wasn't lost by time. It was removed from history. A conscious act of cultural surgery. Someone, or something, decided this place, and whatever it contained, needed to be forgotten. They buried it, sealed it, and then erased the memory of its existence from the world. And we recovered it. We documented everything, blurring the coordinates, classifying the data at the highest level. Then, we filled the excavation. We put the earth back, layer by layer. We replaced the silence. Because whatever this was, someone didn't want it found. And we, in our blundering, had stumbled right to its door. We were not the intended recipients of this secret. We were just the latest in a long line of people who were supposed to see nothing but empty land. The question haunts us. What is so dangerous that its complete erasure from history is the only solution? What kind of power, or knowledge, or entity warrants being locked away in a stone box, buried under a mountain of earth, and scrubbed from the memory of mankind? And we might have found it too late. The seal was breached. We were careful, but the air that escaped, the data we recorded. The disturbance was made. The silence was broken. We put the dirt back. But you can't unring a bell. You can't unsee what has been seen, because some places aren't hidden. They're erased. For a reason. We opened a file that should have remained closed. We found a question that may have no safe answer. And now, we watch. We monitor the site for any change, any signal. We wait, and we wonder if we've simply reset a clock that was never meant to start ticking again. Subscribe, because this site isn't the only one.